One of the most difficult things about this whole YouTube jobby is finding places to put the camera where you can actually see what I'm doing, more or less. Like here. Okay. Job right now is to take out the axle, flip it over, take out the axle, flip it over, and put it back in. So that the chain goes on the other side and the brake goes on the other side. What do we need? What are you doing, cat? What do I need? A 10 mil socket and a 12 mil wrench. Nope, 13 mil wrench, but and I need a shorter socket. You know what? Screw it. Let's do it with 2 wrenches. Gotta be one in here somewhere. $13. There we go. I just use wrenches. Then I don't have to take the tires off, or the wheels rather, off of the axles. If not making life easier, it's making it slightly less difficult. Except for the cat's in the way today. Come on. I know, it's terrible. You quit whining about it. Not an incredibly difficult task, but, doing everything step by step. One thing at a time. I'll start at this end and work my way forward. Got the brakes I got to replace. Still have to replace them. But that's not happened until after I get the axle taken off and put back on. So once this is done, I can mount the motor, which is a problem all unto itself. There we go. Put it back in that way. Goddamn way. Aha. Here's an issue. There-ish. Well, I'll bolt that up off camera so it's not too boring. Okay. So I flip the axle. Chain's on this side now. Motor will go in there and hook to the chain. Brakes are on this side now, which means the cable's going to have to be shifted to the other side. That's okay, I'm replacing the cable. I also had to replace the brakes because this one faces the wrong direction. So these, right there, that's the brakes, grabs hold of that disc, grips like that, cable will run down there, hook in there, bolt in here. No problem. She spins. We already know that all works. Haven't tightened anything up yet, so it's still wobbly all over the place. This, instead of going here where the old controller went, because it's a bigger size, it has to go here, which will be under the seat, out of the way, hidden, no problem. I have to take apart, well, in order to take apart the whole wiring harness, which I do have to do, trace everything back and forth to wire everything up properly to the new controller, I'm going to have to take all of the rest of the body panels off. Also, I had to switch from my 72 volt controller to a 72 volt charger to a 48 volt charger because that's what I'm going to have on the machine. Luckily, there is one there that is not being used because the other 48 volt bike, which that battery went to, has gone the way of the dodo. And, you know, I got it, I may as well use it. So, considering other errands, that is all there is for today. Next time I do any part of it, I will let you know. So, I clipped some superfluous chunks of metal and brackets off of the frame that don't do nothing no more, specifically dealing with the kickstands. Don't need a kickstand on a three-wheeler. Brakes are hooked up here, that's good. Motor is in place and mounted, nothing's tightened up yet. Everything's still loose so it can be lined up properly. This has to be taken off. That cable has to be replaced and rerun. But chain's up, that's good. I gotta find a spot to put this monster. I'm thinking it might go right here, be zip tied in place. But that's iffy, that's as may be. You know, I'm thinking zip tie it right there because it'll fit underneath the casing and everything. It won't interfere with the wires. Or this way, which may be a little more prudent considering where all the wires have to go. That might be where I put it. Have to decide yet. I mean, for all I know, I can shove it in this way or I can shove it in that way. Just has to go from here back. This point here is where the seat box covers to. So it'll go inside of here, all the way back to there. Might even sit right like that. Who knows? But something's got to be done. It's got to sit somewhere. So that all has to be lined up. Once that gets lined up, then I'm going to start stripping down, stripping back the wires. Find the right connectors. Find the right connectors all the way across the length of it. And connect everything and run everything back. The controller, the motor, the switch, the batteries, all of it. Can all be properly connected again once I get all the wiring done. So it's slowly taking it all apart before I can put it back together. Let you know what happens next time. Okay, a little bit of the wiring done on the back end here. Still got a bunch of plugs that I haven't hooked up yet because I have to trace the wires down the line. The ones I have got hooked up are the reverse switch, speeds, throttle, and ignition. So, we power on the main breaker. We turn on the ignition. Let's click. We touch the throttle. And We got forward. We hit the big red button, turn reverse, and we got wheels go in reverse. Turn that off. Turn that off. Turn that off. We now know the system works 100%. Everything still has to be tightened up. Brake cable has to be replaced. And the wiring harness has to be traced up to find the correct position for all of these wires. That's for tomorrow. Now, where did I put that stupid tripod camera stand looking thingy? There it is. Let's see if I can get this set up so you can see what's going on. Got a couple things figured out off camera here beforehand. Everything's tightened down on the back end. The brakes are spaced out and ready to be attached. New brake cable's ready. I got to pull the old brake cable out. So that'll be the first little bit. Yeah, we're going to see what we're doing here. So I start taking things apart and peeling things out. I want a container to put screws and stuff in so I don't lose them. That'll do. Take these two pieces out. There's these two screws, which are the ones that hold this piece on. Once we get that cable out for the brake, start peeling the wiring harness back. So we'll find what has to attach where. That'll come out. What clips are attached? Oh, there's a clip there. No, screws holding it, of course, just a clip. And in fact, that the recharge adapter is attached to it. So that over there. Don't need to see this well, but what I'm doing is peeling the actual cable out of the sleeve here far enough to be able to drop it. Out of the handle and completely pull it out. Doesn't need to be saved for any purpose, so we can just peel it right the fuck out. Looks like I have to replace that handle anyway. Okay. There. And there we go. One completely removed brake cable we don't got to deal with no more. From this point, we can start peeling back the harness, see what happens. Off. So we got that. Which is the charger adapter. And I have a plug to attach to that. So that's good. Come on. I appreciate the amount of effort somebody put in to actually tape up the entire wiring harness. It does not make it easier to work on. Multiple layers, no less. Holy shit, somebody cared. The reason I have to unwrap this whole thing is I got to trace individual wires for individual circuits. And I have to replace longer wires to go from their source back to the load or to the switch. Primarily, I got to go from the switches on the dash, the handlebars, to the controller. Make sure whatever circuit is being wired is held together. I guess this is all power wires. They're all together, they're all one circuit, they can all be taped up and left. That's one line, right there. No problem. Goes where it needs to go. It is what it needs to be. But from there, find out what the rest of them are. Might have to unwrap this ball here too. And I got to find out which ones these are, trace them back and hook them into the circuit or into the controller where they belong. And how far I'll be able to take this. It's interesting finding out that there's everything inside here from zip ties coat hanger wire outside of the normal body panel screws. So at least it's not going to be boring. Two zip ties and coat hanger wire, no less. Okay, so I'm going to find out where this one goes, disconnect it. That's the main. Connect them to that. That's the main. So that's the main. This connects to something somewhere in here. Which, oh, there it is. Is that it? That is it. That is it. Why is it going that way? I think that is going back that way. That is going this way. So that one and this one should be, or not, but should be a charger adapter. I hope the fact that these run straight to power are okay. Instead of running to a charger adapter right there. Well, peel this back further and see what else we can find. That's what I mean. I got to go through, I don't know how well you can see these myriad of rainbow wires here. I got to go through all of those and find which wires connect to which switches so they can wire those switches directly to the controller where they're supposed to be. That's going to be incredibly difficult. I'm going to do a lot more of this off camera than on camera, but that's the rainbow I'm looking at right now. That is the charger adapter. That's fine. It might be fine. I don't know. It's not connected. Well, it's connected to a bunch of stuff right now. It should be fine. That's okay. I don't need to use it or anything else. Use it or anything else. It's wired into the power. These beasts, all these weird ass plugs and shit that I don't know what to do with. See, I know these. I know this. This one is my brake lights and turn signals. I don't know what this is. I don't know what these are. I don't know what those are. Everything else in there is already wired up to the best of my ability. You know, these few things that I've actually hardwired in. 1, 2, 3, 4 of them that I've actually wired up properly. These 4 things I've wired up. The reverse switch, the speed controller, or the 3 speeds, the ignition, and the throttle. Well, the 3 speeds, I'm eventually going to have to find the wire that comes to this switch, which is the 3-speed switch. The reverse switch, I'm going to have to extend the wires probably and hook it up somewhere around here, underneath the throttle, or the ignition. The ignition I'm going to have to hook up. I might have to replace that brake handle because it is actually damaged. It's alright, I've got another brake handle, that's fine. And I've got multiple brake handles, so I can get that done, no problem. The stripping back and rebuilding. This is a difficult part for me. Making sure I keep everything organized and orderly and ready to go. As you can see, it's... well, I've got it back this far. To the batteries, I've got everything stripped back as much as I need to. So I'll strip the rest of that wire back, at least to there, by today, and take this panel off tomorrow. with luck, Sunday, the day after tomorrow, I'll be taking this apart and actually attaching and replacing wires. I'm just going slow with this because it's not my favorite thing to do. Tracing wires is tedious. Okay, talk to you later.